Alright, time for another Wolf Pilot vlog entry on 44 Tango. It's Sunday the 23rd of October. I mean, you can see that everything minus the glove box is in. These circuit breaker and the stall horn mount to the glove box. Yokes, those go in super easy. But the big thing today I've got to investigate is why the hell engine monitor is not working. It will not power on. Go battery on. I know I got voltage here to my fuel flow, but this dude over here is not powering up. I got to figure that out. Everything else, the wiring's all dressed up. Yeah, good times. I guess I'll fart with this today. It's about lunchtime. I ate a brunch today, and I'm moving a little bit slow because everything is hurting. I've been really putting in a lot of hours on this thing. It didn't go to rec law. I wanted to fly this to rec law, but not ready. And even if it was, sure would have been a windy trip down there. Would have been educational as I continue to nudge my minimums the more hours I put in the logbook. Anyhow, I'll cut back in, add some more onto this as soon as I figure what the hell's going on. Alright folks, I want to break in here real quick. I got to share this little war story about this JPI EDM 700. Oops, upside down. So Steve and I installed it. The original cables from the firewall forward were too short, so I got these cables from Altex Electronics, which are DB25 extension cords. They're 3 foot. Thought, hey, it's going to be too long. Actually, they turned out to work really, really well. The extra footage didn't hurt at all. Anyhow, we had it all hooked up, powered it on, instruments deader than hell. And pulling out, checking for voltage, checking the breakers, pulled the connectors apart, looking for broken wires, make sure it wasn't wired backwards and all this stuff. And finally, being that I'm an extra class amateur radio operator and I've got a lot of experience in a commercial two-way shop, I have no qualms about taking stuff apart.
Well, you left out that we noticed when it came back from service 8 or so years ago, the back plate was upside down from the display.
Well, I didn't notice that. I noticed when I looked in through this little tiny reset hole, there was no reset button, and I was seeing it looked like contact pads or something on the circuit board. That I thought was strange. So, okay, that didn't clue me in quite yet till I took this thing apart and was looking at it, and you know, you do the sniff test. There's nothing burned. Usually when electronics give up the ghost, the magic smoke comes out, they're done, they smell. No smell on this thing at all. So I took it completely apart, all the screws on the, there's 2 on to hold the front display on, and there's 4 around the perimeter of this black piece of, it's a black plastic bezel. So I took that off, looked at the boards, no burns, no chars, no craters, nothing. I couldn't understand it. And this thing is the most confusing instrument because even, I should have actually taken a video before I put this plastic back on. This connector right here is J1. However, on the board itself, if you pull this bezel off, it's silk screened J2, which doesn't make any damn sense because this board here, which is J2 on the plastic, is silk screened J1 on this back circuit board. But if you understand electronics and you're looking at the board, this daughter board that's under here, it had nothing but line buffers and all kinds of capacitance, inductors and stuff. You could tell it was an interface to go AD, analog to digital. So it made no damn sense. So, okay, now I'm operating under the premise that the board is silk screened. This thing was put on backwards the last time Steve sent it in for service. And so I flipped it around, put it back together. We did consult the owner's manual, and it's pin 13 and 25. 13 is your 12 volt B+, 25 is ground. And on J2, 13 and 25 go to nothing. So they did make it stupid proof in case you flop your connectors, nothing would happen because the power would be going to nothing. It's just a dead end. So I flipped them around, came out here, plugged it in. Holy shit, it works. So we just got done doing a test. I got my cables hooked back up. It lights up. We're good to go. So I got to crawl in there in the back and refeed the cable over the top and back down around and all this stuff, and we'll remount this instrument, plug it in. Then we can move on to the fun stuff, which is putting in the glove box and the side panels and all that. And yeah, so folks, if you're studying to be an A&P, never ever hesitate to ask questions and investigate, and you have to have a strong troubleshooting methodology. And I have one because I'm a senior network engineer. When it comes down to looking at network problems, you oftentimes look at you go for the stupidest thing first. Is there power? Okay, is the power supply working? Is it got a green light on the power supply? On and on and on and on. Was the device running? Do you have anything on the console port, etc.? I'm not going to bore you to death with that. But anyhow, so we're putting this thing back together and moving to the next thing. Okay, folks, fading back in. That's reroute installed. The music/headphone jack for the iPad is installed. That gives an unswitched or music mutes on radio transmissions. So through the audio panel. So here's the big test, flipping to battery. Oh, look at that. That's a fucking beautiful sight. There's that. Power on our USB. And if we want to go full send, flip the Avionics master on. There's audio panel, GPS, COM2. Oops. I gotta see, I think there's a way to program this transponder to power on with power. But you have to heat that. Okay, then we got left AV30, right AV30. Touchscreen, there's my CDI. I am pulling 10 amps. 10 amps, according to the meter, with all this crap running. And that's not even with any of the lights turned on. Nav lights, beacons, strobes. Now I'm at 20 amps. Let's see if we do landing lights and courtesy lights. Holy smokes, man, that is 30 amps. 30 amps with all that trash turned on. The bus voltage is down to 11.5. Turn all that stuff off, 10 amps. Alright. So, folks, that is the full burn test here. Full burn. Turn coordinator's whirring, you can probably hear that. We're now putting in the glove box, and it'll mount up a couple things to that, and be basic, some maybe final dress underneath the dash, clean that up, but good times. Avionics going off, bus voltage or bus amperage down to 5 amps, with just 5 amps between turn coordinator and engine management system. Well, turn coordinator and 2 engine management instruments. And if I take my engine management breaker, pull that. Wow, that's kind of interesting. I'm still, even with that turn, oh, well, turn coordinator.
Turn coordinator is still hooked up to the stall warning horn.
Oh, that's funny.
We never took it apart, did we?
No, no, turn coordinator is on its own breaker. And I pull that breaker and my voltmeter drops off, and I'm still pulling 5 amps. So what the hell is here that's pulling 5 amps? Why is this thing showing that 5 amp draw? Oh, look at that.
Oh, your starter?
No, alternator field. So the alternator field.
Oh, we had it on accidentally.
Well, no, these breakers are always on. So if I've turned right now, okay, field off, field on. So the alternator field pulls 5 amps. Well, that's good to know. It's very good to know. And if I pull the field, my amperage goes to 0. Turn coordinator coming back on. And also because my voltmeter's wired to the turn coordinator, so wow, you can't really tell because it went completely level. Barely detectable current draw. What the hell is that? Engine management. That also is drawing next to nothing. It's still at 0 basically. That's it, man. I mean, that's your basic stuff. without any fancy schmancy crap. Well, I got to figure out what the hell's going on with this this GT thing here. It's not something, I'm missing something with that, but that's a whole nother ball of wax. This is going to be an interesting, little bit longer video. Now we're just putting everything together. The dash is where it is. All right, it's 5 o'clock Sunday afternoon, folks.
I'll put all of the paperwork on a thumb drive.
Okay.
So if Mike doesn't like some wording on something, then
just change it. And
337.
And my office is right down there. I could run down there and print stuff if I need to. But folks, we're shutting down for the day. Everything is in. Oh, look, we're even getting some body panels on. We got a few little cosmetic items here to go back. But folks,
Light it up for them.
So battery plus alternator. And I love this flow. Everything's in sequence for what you need. And that way you shut down, everything goes, all the switches go off, and you pull the red knob and you're off. That's your checklist. But
why doesn't the transponder come on? It's wired individually.
No, it just doesn't auto power on.
It autos off.
It autos off. I didn't find a setup option. Maybe guys in the comments below, if you have a 330 ES transponder, and actually Paul's does the same thing. I don't think there's a way to actually have it turn on with your avionics bus. I think you got to manually hit the button to turn it on.
Probably do that on purpose so you won't be squawking when you shut down and you accidentally leave on your master switch and you go home.
Something like that. So folks, everything is lit up. Everything is, I mean, all this thing is literally ready to fly. Say for, I mean, I can put seats in it, fly it now, but we're going to get it put together. So I have flying with the air blasting in on your face without the nozzles on is kind of lame. But I mean, folks, we're done. I mean,
temperature shows.
I mean, it's literally
working.
Literally everything is online. See, acquiring. So we're in the hangar, so we're not going to be able to acquire satellites. That's just not going to work. Of course, I can't get it. Pictures kind of blurry. And I'm going to actually order some one little. I think they make a short little 1-foot cable. So you'll take this and just plug it right in, and then 1-foot cable here at the 90, and plug that into the Sentry, and that'll clean that up. But I need to placard Music 2 and Music 1 inputs. I'll be able to do a jumper from this to my iPad for alerts from Bitch and Betty, the iPad voice. And wow. And the other mod I think about doing is over here. I think I'm going to put in another PTT jack to plug in the button from the steering wheel, the yoke. God bless me. And kind of like, wish I could do that over here too.
Put another starter button in. You maybe just somehow get it down here. Yeah, you could put it there, but that's a little obtrusive. Put a big silver button right there.
Yeah, we're kind of almost out of space down there at the other corner. Put another starter button in.
Make a whole new bracket.
Yeah, I think so. Although
there's nothing behind
nothing behind that. That's a wide open spot. And of course, you know, if I get the EDM 900, both these honking things go away. All that stuff over there goes away, and then you have an ultimate spot. Put a filler plate over there, you have it real convenient, where the right seat person can hit the otherwise the starter button is way the hell down here, which nobody. I mean, you're not gonna figure that out.
That's an anti-theft device.
Anti-theft. Yeah, it's a feature, not a bug. Anyway, folks, I'm gonna wrap this update up for today. I'm tired. It's dinner at the Urishes tonight, so I'm gonna go down there and do that. Yeah, it's hopefully. I think I'm airborne. I think I'm airborne. Upcoming Saturday, we'll take her up. I don't know. It's probably update 8 or 9. Thanks for following along. We'll see you on the next one.